So today we're going to be working on word problems. One of the strategies we're going to use is key terms in the word problems. So up top you see that there is some columns here, one for addition, one for subtraction, one for multiplication, division, and equal. And so when you read these word problems, you're going to go ahead and read key terms that go ahead and match to those specific categories. So what I'd like you to go ahead and do first is pause your video, and then I want you to go ahead and write as many terms you can think of that go along with addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, and equal. So for example, the first one I could think of though too for addition would be sum. Whenever you see find the sum of something, we think we have to add. So again, go ahead and pause your video right now and see how many you can come up with. So hopefully you just paused your video. You came up with some terms. Here are some terms that I came up with. Okay? And the key thing to remember about these terms is that they don't always match to the exact operation. So just remember that when you're doing the problems, that they don't always match exactly, but most of the time they do. So go ahead and take a moment. If you don't have these ones in the specific columns, go ahead and add them in. Alright, the first problem we're going to go ahead and do is the sum of two numbers is 45. Okay? The first is 9 less than the second, so go ahead and find the numbers. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is I'm going to underline any key information. So I have two numbers and their sum is 45, so that's important. The first is 9 less than the second, that's important as well. So the first is 9 less than second. Okay? So I'm going to go ahead and draw. I have a first number and I have a second number. And when I add those together to find their sum, it's going to equal 45. Now I do not know what either of the numbers means, but I do know that the first is 9 less than the second. So I'm going to go ahead and say that I'll go ahead and say the second is equal to x. Okay? And that the first one is 9 less than that, so it's going to be x minus 9. Okay? So now I've created my equation so that I can go ahead and figure out what x is equal to. So I can go ahead and say that x minus 9 plus x is equal to 45. I can go ahead and combine any like terms, so I have an x plus x, 2x, minus 9 equals 45. Alright, then I can go ahead and add 9. I should get 2x equals 54. And then I go ahead and subtract by 2. And I go ahead and run out of room here, so I'm going to go ahead and put it up here. Now I have that x is equal to 27, because 54 divided by 2 is 27. So I need to go ahead and check to make sure that works. So I'm going to check it up here first. So I'm going to say my first number was x, which is 27, minus 9, plus my second number, which is 27. And so this is going to eventually equal 45 if it's correct. So 27 minus 9 is 18, plus 27, and then 18 plus 27, and yes, that equals 45. So yes, it does work. Okay. So now I know that it works, I can go ahead and decide what my two numbers are, because the question asks us find the numbers. So my first number is x minus 9, and x is equal to 27, so minus 9 is going to be 18, so that's my first number. My second number is equal to x, and I found that that equals 27. So those are my two numbers. Okay. Problem 2. Together, a necklace and a bracelet cost $192. Find the price of each if the necklace costs 3 times as much as the bracelet. So I have a necklace and a bracelet, and they cost $192. So instead of writing numbers, I'm going to put necklace for this one. I'm going to put bracelet for this one. And I'm going to add them together, because I'm finding together that total cost, they equal 192. So as far as clues in my problem that I go ahead and use, the price of each of the necklace costs 3 times as much as the bracelet. So necklace costs 3 times as much as the bracelet. So I'm going to give a value to the bracelet of x, and the necklace is 3 times as much, so that's going to be 3x. I can now go ahead and solve my problem. 3x plus x is equal to 192. combine my like terms. So I get 4x equals 192. Divide by 4, and I get x is equal to 48. So now I'm going to go ahead and check to see if that works by plugging it in. So I have 3x, which is 3 times 48, plus x, which is 48, is equal to hopefully 192. 3 times 48 is 144, plus 48 will get 192. So yes, that does work. So the question asks, find the price of each of the necklace and the bracelet. So I know that my bracelet is equal to x, which is equal to 48. And then my necklace is equal to 3x, which is equal to 144. I'll put the dollar symbol there. Okay. Alright, my last one is the length of a rectangle is 2 centimeters less than 7 times the width. The perimeter is 60 centimeters. Find the dimensions of the rectangle. So I'm finding a perimeter of a rectangle, and I know that the perimeter of a rectangle is going to be length plus width, and that is going to equal 60 centimeters, because I know my perimeter is 60 centimeters. Okay. I also know that the length of a rectangle is 2 centimeters less than 7 times the width. So I'm going to go ahead and use my variable x for my width. Okay. And then it says the length of the rectangle, 2 centimeters less than 7 times the width. So it's 7 times the width, 2 less though. So 7x minus 2 is going to be my length. So I'll plug that in for this one as well. Okay. So we have a pretty big equation there. 7x minus 2 plus 7x minus 2 plus x plus x. You're also going to see these written sometimes because we have two lengths of the same thing. You're going to go ahead and see it written as 2, and then in parentheses it's going to be 7x minus 2. Okay, so it's the same thing. It's two lengths. There's my two lengths. And so same thing here, we have two widths. We write 2x. X plus x is 2x. And that's going to equal 60. So I'm going to go ahead then distribute it out. I have 2 times 7x is 14x. 2 times negative 2 is negative 4. And then plus 2x. I'm going to go ahead and combine my like terms to get 16x minus 4 is equal to 60. Add 4. I get 16x is equal to 64. And I'm running out of room again, so I'll put it up there. So I have 16x equals 64. Divide by 16, and I get x is equal to 4. So let's go ahead and check to see if this works first. I'm going to plug into my original equation. So I have 2 times 7 times 4 minus 2 plus 2 times 4. Okay? And that should equal 60 when I'm done. So I do 2 times 7 times 4, and 7 times 4 is 28, minus 2 plus 8, and then 2 times 26 plus 8. 2 times 26 is 52 plus 8 is equal to 60. So yes, it does match. So my question then asks, find the dimensions of the rectangle. I know that my width, which is equal to x, is equal to 4. And then my length is equal to 7x minus 2. If I plug 4 into that, I would go ahead and get 26. So there are my dimensions, and they are centimeters, so I'm going to include centimeters in there. Okay. So go ahead and pause your video right now. You have 2 more problems that you're going to go ahead and try. Alright, so after you've tried these 2 problems, go ahead and check them. You can see that number 4 there is another perimeter question, so hopefully you did 2 lengths and 2 widths. And the perimeter is 64. And you should have gotten a width of 12 and a length of 20. If you didn't get those, make sure you check to see that your width was x and your length was 2x minus 4, because our length is 4 centimeters less than twice the width. Number 5, we had two numbers. Our first number we gave a value of x to, and then our second number was 4 times the first, so we gave it a 4x. Okay? And the sum of those two numbers equal 45. So you should have figured out that x, the first number, is equal to 9, and the second number is equal to 36. Add them together, and you get 45.